Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I had posted a picture on Facebook, and you're looking at it right now. I was playing with a new set of Pan Pastels that I got for my birthday, and this is the set. It's called the Flower Coloring Kit 2 Susan Garden, and these are the colors that came with it. And it is Pablo Blue Slate. Well, I don't even know that's Pablo. Fablo tint, a chromium oxide green tint, violet tint, ultra blue shade, and a turquoise shade, and a yellow green shade are the colors that are in here. And this is what the set looks like. Comes on this plastic thing. This coloring down here is a colorless blender. I had that from another set, but I put it in here because I was using this palette. I'm using this light blue, the regular blue, and this blue here, and then the colorless blender. I'm not touching the other colors. It came with these little tools. This one is the pointed triangular one. They also come with the little round ones and a spongy dude, a couple of refills for the things themselves. But I was asked if I had done a tutorial on this, and no, I did not, because I was just seeing if I could get the pastels to lay down, also to try out my fixative that I purchased at the same time, because I wanted to see if I could use the Pan Pastels along with my distress inks. And if you know pastels, you know they are like a powder-based dry medium that you put down on paper, and you kind of have to put a fixative on it, or they kind of, you know, they'll either rub off onto other papers, or, you know, they're not really affixed to the paper that much. And because these are water-based, if you add water to pen or pastels, not necessarily Pan Pastels, but regular ones, you can actually move it across the paper. So that was what I was testing from my own wonderment. So we're going to go ahead and do this for you guys on camera. Now, because I was just playing around, it may not turn out exactly like this, but it'll be a little similar. I mean, we'll use the same colors, but you never know when you do another picture if it's actually going to come out the same. So what I did was I started off with the lightest color of the Pan Pastels, and that is the lightest blue. So I just kind of picked some of that up on here, and then since I'm making her kind of a blue skinned person, I just went in and laid down the lightest blue on here and just kind of put it in areas that I knew that we were going to have some shadows. And also I know I'm bringing out some of the color into the flowers and such, so I was putting it in those areas. A little bit of this Pan Pastel kind of goes a long way, so you can really move this around. Basically, this is all I did to put it down. Now her face is going to be all blue too. Want to leave kind of under the eye a little lighter, and just come down the side of her face, kind of giving her some cheeks there. It's going to be dark up here, some more cheekage, a little bit around her eye, and of course we're going to do her lips, so we add a little in there, and then we can kind of build up a line down to her nose here. And then I kind of just blend in any of the other blue in areas. Then we would take the other darker color here and just add in a little bit of that. Just kind of tapping it in here. Get a little on her cheek. And I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but I mean, it is pastels and we can move it around. And the other nice thing about pastels is you can erase it. This is a colorless blender, and we're just going to bring that in and blend some of this out and about. Just by pulling it around. And like I said, if we don't like the way her nose is turning out or anything, we just take an eraser and bring in a line. Lighten it up. But, you know, like I said, all I'm doing is just kind of playing around with it. So I will just keep going in with different colors and adding some shadows and just playing around with it. I want to bring some of that darker blue up into these areas too. We just kind of rub it around. So when I get the base for the shadows and stuff. Now I am by no means, you know, this is like my third time using pastels on anything, so I'm going to go in with the clear blending and bring some of that blue up into some areas. Okay, need to get a rag to wipe off some of that. Back in with the light blue. And then there's a lot of an erasing going on in the last picture, and there'll be a lot of erasing going on in this picture. You want to get your pastels down as good as you can before you put your fixative on it, because once your fixative is on it, you cannot change it. Okay, and we're going to deepen up her nose here. Put some color on her eyelids. And then we're going to come in with the darkest of the blues and add that in here. And this is kind of the turquoise color. Did I get a spot in there? Boom, erased. We're also going to come back in with pencil and ink after we set the fixative. Get some of this in here too, in the darkest spots here, under her neck, coming down. And then on her collarbones here. Add just a bit more in her eyes. And just kind of here and there. Okay, we'll just kind of smear that out. So it blends a little better. Okay, then if we want any more of the spots cleared up a little bit, we'll just take the eraser. This is just a eraser that I usually use for erasing my colored pencils. A little bit lighter over on this cheek. And we will wipe that away. Okay, and what I'm going to do, highlight above her eyebrows. Sorry. Just a little bit there. Is I'm going to take it down to the garage and I'm going to set this stuff. And then I will be back and show you the inking process. Just a bit more there. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so she is all sprayed and dry, and you do know from looking at her she looks a little blotchy. And what I had done on the other one is, now that she's dried, I wanted to see if there was any erasability on this paper. So I just kind of went in here with my eraser and put some spots here and there on her skin. And you can tell that some of it will erase. So I just went around and did that just because I put it on both sides. I might as well, you know, because it's not going to get fixed, right? So I did that and then thought, well, we'll stick some down here on her neck and on this side. So it's just using the eraser tip. And depending on the look you want here is what you do. Okay, so I just added that and thought, well, yeah, you can erase this, but I also rubbed it. And I know I have blue on my fingers, but I'm rubbing it with my palm, and I notice, okay, we don't have that much on my skin. So what I thought I would do was go ahead and go in with the purple and the blue of the inks and see what I would come up with on those, because this was basically the whole purpose of doing this. And I also was going to go in with like I said, pencils, and this is a white Prismacolor, and I wanted to see if it would blend what was left on the paper or lighten it, and it does. So I know I can use at least the Prismacolors on top. Okay, then I went in with some of the broken china, and then just kind of picked some areas that I want to darken with the blue and bring some of these colors in. So we can add some of the brighter blue around her forehead, her cheeks, the sides, and into these feathers, maybe down here on her neck. There's really no rhyme or reason for where I put the blue other than I needed some blue kind of up here at the top and kind of fanning out if we wanted to put some colors in here. And a little down here on this side. And while I was doing all this, I was like, boy, she got really blue. So we're going to add a different color. So I brought in the purple. It happened to be sitting on the desk, so we just brought in some of that color and just laid it right on top of the existing color. Add some in her cheeks, because I'm going to do some under her eye. Same on this side. Just add some color and bring it out. Maybe do the center of the flowers. Maybe just do a flower. And something needs to go up here in the purple realm. So we kind of have blobs of purple and the blue mixing. Get some back here. So you can tell her hair is a little different. And we'll add a little bit down here in her chest. And a little bit up here on her nose. Maybe coming out on her forehead. Down on her areas down here. Okay. Basically that is all of the inking at this point. And then we brought in, or I brought in, some pencils in the same color. So I just went to Sargent Art because I had them out on my desk. And, oops, sorry, moving the camera, I had to open. I got out a medium violet and a dark violet, and a dark blue and a medium blue. So I think it was a royal blue, dark blue, something in this line. So they're just the same kind of shades, blues and greens. So I would take like her eyes. Okay, gotten out the pencils and I was going to go ahead and start doing this. My problem is my camera quit working. or filming. So I'm going to bring you down a little bit so I can get a little closer here. All I'm doing is adding in some blue into her eyes. This is the deep blue. I'm going to put some eyeshadow on her also and bring it out into these areas here on both eyes. And then we're going to define her nose a little bit better, bringing it up to the eyebrow and lightly bringing it down. And more so on one side than the other. I'm also going to go in with ink on this. We're going to bring the cheeks down a little bit better. And her lips. I'm just going to highlight where they come together here. Deepen the areas that are out here. Kind of put a line in here. And bring a line kind of up on this side. Give her more of a little pouty mouth. And we're also going to fill in her eyebrows a little bit. And basically I'm just going to play with it until I like the way she looks with the pencils, and we'll bring a little of the blue into the flower over here. So all I was doing was testing to make sure that the pencils would go over this, how well they'd go over it. And then I was going to bring in some water medium on this also. So I'll take the Distress ink and get it wet and see how that works. So it's just playing around with it. And we're going to try to make her look a little better. Of course, this little dude up here has got to have some color in him too. So we will add some to him. And I want some purple down here on her cheek too. So we'll add a little bit more in there. Okay. And then since I'm trying to make her look at least halfway decent, we'll shade some of that. And I'll just keep working on it. This one is just, well, it's a medium blue. And we're going to bring in some of the purple for her eyes too. If I can find the purple pen. And we'll throw some of that down in here. We're also going to shade her white of her eyes with a little of this purple. Throw a tiny bit in here. Sorry, just kind of concentrating on little bits and pieces. I'm not trying to make her look, you know, like a beauty queen or anything. I'm just trying to give her some colors that don't look awful on her. And then I'm going to blend some more of this in, giving her white spots here, a little white under her lips area here, and then down her throat area here. Then I went in with the Posca pen, added dots and more black. I can find the black pen. I was looking on my desk to see if I had one out. I do. Okay. We'll just use the Prismacolor black, and we're going to add in some eyelashes. Make these longer. And darken up her eye line here. Around her eyes, or her pupils. Like that. And then the Posca pen came in, and we added some highlights on her lip, in her eye, and we'll add some here. And then we added some on her face, kind of pat them down a little bit. And she has these up here in her hair, and I added some of those. See how well the Posca pen worked. Works fine. We added a bit of him there. Any of these you don't like, you can scratch off with your fingernail, I noticed, so that worked for me. This side doesn't have as many. I'll add some more in for fun. Add a little white here in her eyes. I know I worked on her nose a lot better on the other one, but I gotta find a lighter blue to go in here with. And that's more of the white. And then if we wanted to go back in with any of the blues, we went back in with the blues. Did a lot better shading on the other one. It's really difficult for me to try to redo a picture. So I'm going to add a little of this blue coming down. On her. Try to blend that in a little better. And we're going to add a tiny bit of definition here. Okay, and then because I put the distress ink down, I'm going to stop fiddling around with the pencils. I went in with a little water to see how that would react with the pastels, so we splattered it a little bit to see how that would work. And it took up the distress ink and it left the pastels behind it, so that was nice. Probably do a little of that on her neck too. See if that picks up. And I'm pretty sure I did a little on just her face area also. And we get that dry, and it gives it kind of that nice little splattered effect. And by the way, this is printed on 110 smooth cardstock that I got at Walmart. I'm going to get a little more water off here. Then I thought, what the heck, we are going to throw on some more water because this is test page. So I brought in the Caran d'Ache 15 set of Neocolor 2 water soluble crayons that you will notice I don't ever use, because I'm not a big fan of these. I prefer my ink. But they do have blue and they do have purple. So I thought I will just put a dab of it over here. A pretty heavy dab, by the way. And we'll throw some on this side. And maybe we'll throw some over here. I wasn't really particular. This is a nice blue that goes with it. We can put some on her lips with this one too, and some in her eyes. I've heard you're not supposed to take this down on the paper, but you know. I am going to do it. So we put some of it up here at the top, and we're just going to use my water brush and smear it out into wherever it goes, basically. I know I put some somewhere else. And bring it up. And now these pieces down here that I did, I thought, well, we're going to try to add, and I hope the paintbrush has enough water in it. So I would get it nice and wet up here, and then squeeze my brush so it would get a nice drip of water, and then let it drip down the page. And that's how those drips are accomplished. So we'll try it again so you can see it. Take the brush, get it in here, and get the brush wet, let the drip fall where it may, and it'll come down. If there's not enough water, you can always help it or add some, and then it drips. Clean up the drip at the bottom if you don't want it going off the paper, and you just go around and bring down another one. So put the water in, try to get it on the other side, and drip it down. Come on, little drip, you can do it. Anyway, that's how those drips were accomplished. And then if you needed it to blend up here a little better, you just added it in there. If you wanted a little more blue or purple in there, you just take it off the crayon and slap it in. Give it a little more. So basically just playing with it to see how all this stuff would work in here. Is what I was doing. And then her necklace here, she needs some color. So I just some color in there. And it didn't really matter because I was going to go back over this with the Posca and put some highlights in it. Do the same thing with her decoration up in her hair here. I'm going to add a little of this in her eye, just in the corners. Try to keep it out of the center. Maybe a little more. So it just stand out. Tiny bit more here. And basically all that's left is to put some dots here and there with the Posca pen. And maybe we'll put a drip coming down over here. So we'll get that nice and wet and let it drip. Tap it down, there we go, and just let it dry. Okay, I did a bit of shading here just to give her a little bit better softness on her face. And I was doing it on camera, but guess what? Camera decided its memory was full, so we didn't catch much of it. So I just softened it a little bit. Just ran the white over all the areas that I had put down the pencil, just to blur it in a little bit, to burnish the paper, give her a softer face. So basically, she turned out just as nice as the other one. This one has softer, more, I don't know, realistic looking eyes, but I like hers better. They're more kind of mysterious. So there are the two side by side. She's a little lighter, a little more blue, but they're both, you know, fun to do. So I will leave a link down below on the page where you can get it on the Etsy shop. And I'll leave a picture of both of these at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope that answered all the questions that everybody had. Take care and have a great day. Bye now.